What is good, guys? Asafumas here, and today I will be giving my overall review over SAO Alicization Lycoris. Now, I have been enjoying the game. Yes, I have been enjoying the game. There's a lot that you can do. There's just it's a big game, but it did start off with some problems, and the problems is pretty much what I want to start off with. So with the first topic of this video, we will be talking about the cons. Now, I'm just going to give a list of cons. I couldn't think of a lot. I may have forgotten some, but that's besides the point. My cons: too many cutscenes and dialogue. There's just too many cutscenes and dialogue. They have the visual novel dialogue style. They have regular dialogue. They have the cutscenes. It is so much. It reminds me of Fatal Bullet so much. Did Fatal Bullet have the visual? Yeah, they did have the visual novel part too. It is like insanely too much dialogue. I think it was more than Fatal Bullet. I would skip a cutscene and be in another one, then try to skip it again, end up being in another cutscene and skip it again, and then run into the visual style. Like, it is so much dialogue. Like, it is insanely overwhelming. It's overwhelming, man. Oh my god, it's too much dialogue. The next thing is bad optimization. They currently are working on that for the PC and the Xbox One. PS4 had a pre-patch. That is why the game size for the PS4 was 44 gigs, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Xbox version was 39.97 gigs. I have been playing the game on both consoles. I do have an Xbox One X and I have a PS4. And the Xbox One X, of course, is the stronger console because I have the original PS4, but it is the strongest console out. The Xbox One X is the strongest console out, and it ran like complete garbage on SAO. But the PS4 ran perfectly fine. But the devs already confirmed that they're working on a patch that should be coming out on the 22nd, which is next Wednesday, for PC and Xbox, to help fix those problems and any other glitches and bugs or anything like that. And then they have another another patch, another update coming out on the 27th for all consoles. I wonder if that is adding in raids and all of that good stuff. But yeah, they're working on that problem. But yeah, that's still a problem. I still have to list it on here. But the next thing, you have to beat chapter 1 of story mode in order to unlock CAC and co-op. Why is this a problem? Well, chapter 1, depending on how you play, is literally 6 to 8 hours. If you don't do the side quests, read dialogue, any of that, that's 6 to 8 hours. 6 to 8 hours. If you read the dialogue, do the side quests, do everything, that you're looking at about a solid 15 to 17 hours on chapter 1. That's the thing. It's pretty long, and I guess that's a pretty decent thing for story mode heavy players. There's a lot to do. Like I said, this game, have I said that? But like I said, this game is pretty big, so it's kind of understandable. SAO seems like they're trying to go for, they're putting an MMO in a JRPG. Like, you really have to grind for everything. You can just run through the main missions, but you won't be shit in the future, is pretty much what I'm getting from this. But yeah, it's story mode is pretty long. And yeah, the other problem was story mode being 8 to 17 hours depending on how you play. The game does crashes. It depends. I had a lot of crashes on Xbox. I have yet to even experience a crash on the PS4. Xbox is going through it with those crashes. I crashed on the final floor on the Xbox live on stream. I was totally pissed off when that happened because I was literally right there at co-op. Load times are insanely long on both consoles. Insanely long. They're just too long, way too long. I've never sat in a game that just took that long to load. Besides, I guess you could say Shinobi Striker took a while, but I guess that's depending on connection. So yeah. And the next problem is your CAC is created from Kirito's build, as in his body. Pretty much what you do to create a character. Once you unlock CACs, you got to go into Kirito's tent, then you got to go to this desk, and I think it's called Create Character. And pretty much you're redesigning Kirito into your character, and there's literally little to no options on like a lot of things. Like, hairstyles are very limited, but that is due to the SAO store not being open, which I will get into in a minute. But yeah, your whole character is built off Kirito, and you literally, it's just weird. It really is just weird. But yeah, your character is pretty much built off of Kirito, which is kind of weird. I would have loved to just create my own character from scratch, but there's like literally like the options for your character as of now is pretty bad. And of course that content will come in the future, which is the raid updates, the SAO store opening up, cube tickets. We're gonna get into that later on in the video. But anywho, that is it for my cons. We're gonna move on to some of the feats, some of the positives that I have to say. I had to get the bad stuff out the way first. So on to the next thing is the feats. Now in this game, now SAO, like I said, is literally a MMO and a JRPG. It's not a massive multiplayer online game, but it is a multiplayer game. It's really trying to be a RPG. It's really being true to the story, or to the show, in other words, where you have to grind heavy for everything. Like Kirito was literally a sweat in all his games. Like, he grinded for everything. Now, there was one problem that I hear from a lot of people or a lot of reviewers is that when you do side quests, they don't tell you where to go. That's actually false. On the map, it does tell you, like, when you do a side quest, the side quests are like the little feathers on the map. Once you click on a certain side quest, it will actually tell you where to go. It will send you to a purple area. There will be a purple area on the map, or there will be another feather on the map with a blue pin on it. So I don't know if those are PC or Xbox players experiencing that, but I haven't had any problems out of that. And most of the missions are pretty much, if they don't give you a location, they're pretty much easy to find, because they literally tell you, like, if you ask for more details, they will tell you where certain things are or what to catch, and you know where those beasts or whatever you need to do, you know where that stuff is at, if you've been around the map enough to know. So yeah, I've heard a lot about that. But anyways, the feats. Fishing, you can fish in this game. You have to have a certain fishing level to catch certain fish. You can have different fishing rods. I haven't seen any new fishing rods yet. I guess that's going to be in the next update when the raids and all that come. You can craft stuff. You can craft weapons. You can enhance weapons. You can enhance armor. You can make armor. You can do all kinds. You can even make medicines. You can make health potions. You can do all that through crafting, which is very, very, very unique. Like I said, SAO, Alicization Lycoris, is trying to be an MMO, or yeah, it's really trying to be an MMO. It's being really true to his story, because you literally had to do everything that Kirito had to do in his past games, which is grind, craft, find stuff, all of it. The next thing, you can dye stuff. You can dye armor, any type of clothing you can dye. I think you can dye hats. You can dye all kinds of stuff. A lot of people actually didn't know that, but yeah, you can actually dye clothing, all of that. That is pretty unique. I've never actually seen that in a anime game before. Ark Survival Evolved is actually a survival game that actually does that. You can dye your hair, you can dye your clothing, you can dye your dinos. Like, that is pretty cool. Cooking, I did talk about recipes not too long ago. You can actually you can kill certain beasts and get certain, like, meats, and pick up plants or foods or vegetables, and they create a recipe, and you can make these recipes. These recipes can also boost your stats, like pretty much every RPG does that. Even Kakarot did that when you found recipes for Chi-Chi to make, so it can boost like your attacks or anything like that. So they do have that. Of course, they have multiplayer, which I've shown you guys a few days ago. If you haven't seen that, make sure to check that video out, because in multiplayer, you actually can choose from any map in a semi-open world game, or the semi-open world, and any map you choose, you and the players that you invited go to that map. So 4 players can be on one map, and they don't have to be close to each other. You can run off and do your own thing. I even showed that off. I could run to the other side of the map while they do something else on another side of the map. We can be fighting different field bosses at one time. That is very unique. I've never actually seen that in an anime game. Like, that was insane. I was literally in shock when I was playing the game. Raids are not here yet. They are coming. Raids will be here. If you don't know, I should have something on screen. Raids will consist of 16 people, and the bosses will be level 80 and above, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be pretty rough, and there will also be gimmicks inside the certain what do they call them, dungeons. There's certain gimmicks in the dungeons to find a weakness to the boss, or the raid boss, which is insane. I didn't remember seeing that part in the Q&A, but that's actually in there as well. So that update will be coming. I'm hearing the update is coming at the end of the month. Don't take my word for it, but yes, raids are coming. The SAO store, not yet open, but I have a feeling that has to do with cube tickets. This should also be on screen. I can't explain it clearly because I don't have the picture of the cube tickets in my face right now, but the cube tickets are kind of like, I forgot what you do with the cube tickets, but you basically like launch them or something like that, and they open a box. And I hate to say it, but I think this game might have loot boxes. I hate to say that, but it just might. And you open a box and there's like different cosmetics, weapon skins, clothing skins. I think there's also weapons in there, potions, all types of items. Like there's a lot of stuff in one whole cube ticket. So I don't know exactly how that works yet. I have to see it to believe it. So hopefully we get into that later. Next thing is you can also do story mode with your friends, co-op. I can actually do my story mode missions with my friends. If I'm having a hard time on a boss, I can invite a friend or two or three and say, hey, I need help with this boss, can you help me? And they can come to the map that I'm on and fight the boss that I'm having trouble with in the main story. So yes, there is a multiplayer co-op story mode that is up to 4 players, which is amazing. I love that. I love that. It's a story heavy game while also being very multiplayer heavy, while also being very grind heavy, because people are used to, and I don't like to group everybody into one whole community, but I say majority of anime gamers want like shit handed to them, and I'm just glad that SAO didn't do that. This game is a little bit more difficult, and it takes time to get stuff. Like it's actually a grind. It's just not a one and done game. You just do something and then you just get it out of nowhere. Like you just don't, oh, punch me for a sword. You punch the person, you get a sword. You don't do that. You actually have to beat field bosses. You have to do all this stuff, and this is what I love about Alicization Lycoris. Next thing, the game goes beyond Alicization anime. The game is actually 6 chapters long. I have yet to beat it. I don't even know what chapter I'm on. I think I'm past 2. I think I'm past chapter 2. Chapter 2, all the chapters are long as fuck. So if you plan on beating this game in like 2-3 days, good luck. But yeah, there's about 6 chapters, and the game has its original story. So we'll see what happens. There's 2 big expansions coming, and there's a lot of content. Day 1, week 1, there's still a lot of content. There's a lot to go off of. And you can't get bored. I've been playing the game ever since it came out. I have not played any other game. I've been playing SAO, Alicization Lycoris, ever since it came out. I streamed it for 3 days. Then I decided to grind on my own and try to drop some videos here and there, try to get you the multiplayer gameplay out. And now I'm working on this review. There is a lot of content. There's a lot of time to be putting this game, man. I think I put in almost 20-something hours already. So good luck, man. If you're planning on getting this game, it's a grind. Now, when playing alone, of course you're gonna have 3 other NPCs. You can choose to do that. Just like in Fatal Bullet, you can have an NPC with you. But for example, my 3 NPCs are Sinan, Alice, and Huego, if I'm not mistaken. And when you fight, the combat actually reminds me of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And let me finish, okay? They have the switch mechanic, which which Final Fantasy VII Remake had. You can be Cloud, and you can be swinging a sword, and you can do an ability. Then you can switch to Tifa, and then you're playing as Tifa, and then you can switch to Barret, and then you can be playing as Barret, and then you can switch to Aerith and be playing as Aerith. And then you can also, if you don't want to switch characters, you can hold a certain button and tell one character to do an ability and another character to do an ability, and you can still stay on the character that you want to stay on. That's exactly how Alicization is. It reminded me, that was like, man, why does this gameplay look familiar? And then it just popped in my head that it was actually Final Fantasy VII Remake. So it's not exactly like it, but that one mechanic reminds me of it. So yeah, the 1v1 spar system, hopefully that becomes a PvP thing. Amazing. It literally takes skill for that. Let's say if it was an actual PvP thing, hella people would be having a hard time, because you have to time when somebody's about to swing. You have time the dodges, parries. There's parry battles. The parry battles is like I'm amazing at parry battles, man. I love that shit. I really do love it. But yeah, the 1v1 spar system is amazing. I think that is like one of the best things about the gameplay in general. Fighting the field bosses and stuff like that with those fighting mechanics are cool and all, but the 1v1 spar system mechanics are literally the best thing ever, bro, in this game. Like, oh my, I love it. Chain burst. If you can connect, if you learn how to abuse chain burst, I promise you can easily run through a lot of beasts. Like, you can run through a lot of monsters on this game. Chain burst, basically what I do is, let's say I make Fuego do an ability and I do an ability at the same time, and it creates a chain burst. And then if I make Alice launch another ability and I make Asuna launch a ability, then it'll create a chain burst level 2, which will do twice the damage. Like, it will just go insane. So the beast's health will go down even more. I literally abuse the chain burst system, man. The chain burst system is like my favorite thing because it helps me run through the story mode a lot faster than needed. Now, I do have some pros. I pretty much was talking about the pros, but here's some pros. There is so much to do on and offline. Like, there's some unfortunate people in this world. Yes, there are, and I'm not trying to be funny. A lot of people cannot pay for online. A lot of people don't have the funds to pay for online every month or every year or every 3 months. So this game is very, very, very offline heavy and very, very multiplayer heavy. I think it's pretty balanced in a way, and that's what I like about this game. The story mode is, like I said, for heavy offline players. So if you don't like multiplayer games, there you go. There will be daily quests and weekly quests. That'll be coming soon. I don't know how soon. Like I said, there's supposed to be an update on the 22nd, but that's like a patch for the glitches and stuff like that. And then there's a patch that, quote unquote, is coming at the end of the month, which is on the 27th. So we'll see what happens there. I already talked about the 16-player raids. There's many, many ways to earn XP and money. Side missions, relics, main missions, helping other people. Your character can even make money, like get money and XP while you're offline, which is insane because they have an offline, I forgot what they call it. It's a system where somebody online, when you're offline, somebody online can invite your character to a game and it can help you level up. You don't get a lot of XP and a lot of money for it, but you still can level up and get money as you are offline. Like as I'm speaking to you right now, somebody's probably playing with my character as an NPC, and I'm getting the XP and the cash for it, which is pretty cool. Weapon enhancing, I talked about that. Variety of weapon classes. There's whips, there's one-handed swords, there's berserker swords, there's so much. There's bows, there's all kinds of stuff. The skill trees, I have not got the skill tree fully unlocked for everything, but they are huge. The skill trees are huge from what I've seen, especially with the one-handed. I've got one-handed maxed out to the point where they had to open up another skill tree for my one-handed abilities and stuff. So skill trees are massive. Bonding with characters is pretty cool. Pretty much I think I talked about everything. I think I talked about everything. 3 different difficulties that you unlock once you beat this chapter 1. You can put it on normal, hard, or death game. So that's pretty much it for my review. Should you buy it? That's solely up to you. I don't like to tell people what to do with their money, but if this review helped you decide what you want to do, if you want to buy this game or not, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you guys for watching. Asafumas.